On today's episode of Recipe Rehab, the chefs are facing off with chili cheese spaghetti and its calories that come in at 4,372, but will be brought down to 471 per serving. Find out how they did it and who's tasted the best.
It's finger looking good.
The Jeffersons love their family's recipe, but this meal is going to need a serious rehab if it's going to stay in the house. Let's see how our first competitor, Chef Jill, is going to cut the calories.
So the Jeffersons wrote into Recipe Rehab about their spaghetti with chili cheese recipe. But the problem with chili is that it oftentimes is very high in fat. We're gonna take this recipe to rehab. I'm gonna start with some vegetables. I'm gonna cook them slow to give the chili depth. I'm gonna add a little oil to the pan, and in the pot go the onions, celery, and the carrot. I'm going to cook them slowly over low heat, allowing all the vegetables to wilt and creating all this wonderful flavor.
Now for Jill's competitor in the green kitchen, Chef Mareya.
So my chili cheese spaghetti gets a lot of its flavor from herbs, vegetables, and some lean protein. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start off with garlic and onion. Onions and garlic are just a great basis for all the dishes that you guys make. They add just a really good taste without a lot of fat. You can see I threw in just a little bit of olive oil to get this going. I'm gonna cook this up for about 5 minutes, and you wanna do it over a relatively low heat to release the natural sugar in the onion.
My next addition is going to be a chipotle chili. So I'm gonna take one chili, make sure you get it all chopped. This is really gonna add some nice heat and smoky element to the dish. So I'm gonna put in some chili powder, and I'd never skimp on chili powder when it comes to my chili. Now we're gonna add some cumin. Okay, now all the wonderful scents of my spices are coming out. I'm gonna add some crushed tomato. Just gonna add that in, stir it around.
So my onions and my garlic are cooking. They're starting to get nice and translucent. I'm gonna add in my ground turkey. And just by doing the ground turkey instead of cans of chili that you guys were using, we're gonna save so many calories and fat. You're gonna be amazed. So we'll incorporate that in. Once I get that broken up into smaller pieces and get that cooking, I'm gonna incorporate my chicken sausage in there. You can actually pick up sausage that's already got the flavor in there, or you can add more spice to your dish. Spice equals free calories, okay? So spice is a great way to just add that flavor without the fat. Yeah, I'm using one chicken sausage to replace the 8 or so sausages that you guys had in there. And the reason being is that we've got so much else going on with this dish. And it's important, guys, to know that having alternatives to cholesterol, you know, with our plant-based foods, adding it in there with a tomato sauce and the bell pepper and the basil and the onion and the garlic, you're not gonna really miss all that meat.
So, most important part of a chili is the meat. So I'm using cubed beef. This is gonna add a lot of texture to the dish. I'm gonna just toss it in. Oftentimes people brown their meat before they add it to their chili. In this case, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna put it in raw. It's gonna keep it really tender. And because I've developed so many wonderful flavors using the celery and the carrots and the onions with all the chili powder and the cumin, this dish is just gonna melt in your mouth. Now while this is cooking, I'm gonna get started on my cheese sauce. Instead of using processed cheese, I'm gonna use the real deal, but I've chosen a low-fat variety. What I have here is some non-fat milk. I brought it to a simmer. I'm gonna take some light Monterey Jack cheese, and in a bowl, I'm gonna mix it with some cornstarch. Now, I know why people love the faux cheese. It's because it melts so nicely and it spreads so evenly. The reality is it has a lot of extra junk in there that we really don't need. So the cornstarch is really gonna help melt this cheese and make it into that creamy, yummy fondue cheese that we love so much. Check that out. This is going to be delicious.
I'm gonna get my sauce going. I've got strained tomatoes, and in the container here, you don't have to worry about the added salt. It's just unprocessed tomatoes. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna bring my red bell pepper, as much vegetable content that you can put into your food, the better. I'm gonna incorporate the white beans, Great Northern cannellini beans. If you're using canned beans, rinse them off so you can get any extra salt off there that may be inside. And then I'm gonna add my cheese. This is a low-fat mozzarella cheese. And you're gonna save so many calories and fat just by using the low-fat mozzarella. So you can already tell how it's starting to get that beautiful melty effect. And I know that's what you love in your chili cheese spaghetti.
Time to serve it up. Whole wheat pasta, lots of extra added fiber. Look at this chunky chili. Whoa, yum. This is hearty, delicious. All right, we've got some melty cheese. We've got a really wonderful, bold chili, some whole wheat pasta. Kids are gonna love this.
Let's check out the stats board. The meal that the Jeffersons have been making comes in at 4,372 calories per serving, with 347 grams of fat. Jill rehabs her recipe to come in at 471 calories per serving and only 16.1 grams of fat.
All right, so I'm gonna add in my mixture here, and then I'm gonna add in my gooey, delicious tomato sauce with the cheese in there. And this is gonna be a crowd pleaser. I guarantee your kids are gonna love it too. Check that out.
Mareya's recipe brings her dish to 830 calories per serving with only 24.3 grams of fat.
Jill, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to eat your heart out.
The calories have been cut. Now let's see who triumphs on taste.
You like this one, baby?
I like this one. It's good.
So we had a little bit of a hung jury, but the winner by consensus is
Jill wins.
Sorry, Mareya. But they all know who the winner is.
I accept this loss, but watch your back, honey. I'm coming for ya.
To see more Recipe Rehab, subscribe or watch another episode right now.